I want to tell you about two things that happened in kindergarten that I didn't fully understand for about 45 years. I was 4, maybe 5 years old, and I remember both of them like they happened this morning. My kindergarten teacher was Miss Smittle. She was my favorite teacher in all of elementary school. I can still see her. Big brown glasses, very 70s. Short brown hair, kind of a Dorothy Hamill haircut. Those thick-soled brown leather shoes that were everywhere in 1980, 1981. She had this energy that made the whole room feel safe. She had this long denim wrap skirt, and she let every child in the class draw on it with fabric markers, sign their name, make art, whatever they wanted. She actually wore it to school. This skirt covered in all of our handwritings and little drawings. I loved seeing her walk in wearing it. It was the most beautiful thing to me. So I want you to hold that image, okay? Because the story I'm about to tell you doesn't end with Miss Smittle being the villain. She wasn't. It was show and tell. I brought matchbooks. Not because I was being bad. We had a giant glass bowl on a shelf in the den at home, full of matchbooks. My mom's boyfriend and his friends, they came over constantly, playing Vietnamese card games, smoking cigarettes, drinking beer inside the house. I'm still alive, right? I survived, guys, okay? The matchbooks were just part of my world. I thought they were interesting, so I brought them to school for show and tell. I just didn't hold them up either. I took a match out of the book. I was about to strike it. That's how comfortable I was with them. I had clearly done this before. Miss Smittle grabbed the matchstick right out of my hand, then took the matchbooks. Of course she did, you know. She was a caring adult, and a 5-year-old had just pulled out a match in the middle of the classroom. I was seconds away from lighting it. That part made sense. What happened that evening did not make sense. I remember standing in our den. We had this red carpet, low pile, almost hard, not plush at all, more like a very firm fabric floor. I could still feel what it was like to stand on it, to bounce a ball on it, bouncing super high. My father was leaning forward, holding the matchbooks, asking me, "Where did you get these? Where did you learn to do that?" And I pointed right at the bowl. The same glass bowl sitting on the shelf next to me, full of matchbooks. I was baffled. The evidence was right there. I could see it. I was pointing directly at it, but my father did not follow my finger. Same year, same classroom, art time. I was drawing a scene, grass, trees, sky, and I made the sun blue. A classmate looked over and said, "The sun's not blue." And I said, "So?" But then I felt it. That flash of, wait, am I stupid? The sun is yellow. I know the sun is yellow. Here's what I think now looking back. Maybe I was drawing the heat, the extreme intensity of the sun rendered as something beyond yellow. Something that felt blue to me. Maybe yellow was already taken by the other kids and I made do with what was left. Or maybe I was just a child making creative choice that didn't need anyone's permission. Any of those reasons is a real reason, but I didn't feel it that back then. What I felt was, I'm wrong, correct yourself. So we have two memories, same year, same room, both doing the same thing to the same child from two different directions. The matchbooks punished her for accuracy. No, the matchbooks punished her for accurately perceiving her own environment. You see what's in the bowl. You know exactly where they came from. You're pointing right at the truth. Doesn't matter. The blue sun punished her for thinking originally. You had a creative vision that went beyond the obvious answer. You had a reason. Doesn't matter. The lesson her nervous system learned before she had any words for it was Your perception is not safe to trust. Your originality is not safe to express. Correct yourself. See what everyone else sees. Stay inside the lines. That's how people-pleasing and low self-esteem get braided together. They come from the same root. A child who keeps getting overridden eventually stops trusting herself. She outsources her reality to whoever has the power in the room. And years later, she calls it humility. She calls it being realistic. She mistakes the cage for her own personality. Anyways, I became a journalist, a photojournalist. The little girl who got punished for pointing at evidence grew up and decided to make the evidence undeniable, to document everything, to build a record so complete that no one could take it out of her hands again. The camera became the bowl of matchbooks, except this time there was proof. And the little girl who was told the sun isn't blue, she's still in here. Oops. She's the one who finds the angle nobody else thought to look for, who sees the story differently, who makes the blue sun and knows underneath all the fear that she had a reason. If you grew up in a house where your truth kept getting overridden, where you pointed at the evidence and the adults looked away, I want you to know something. You weren't wrong. You weren't wrong then, and you're not wrong now. You just learned to stop trusting yourself in a house that punished you for seeing clearly. And then you carried that lesson into every room you walked into after. That's not a character flaw. That's a survival adaptation, and it can be unlearned. I'm unlearning it right now, on camera, day by day. But I'm Kharis, and this is what reimagining looks like. If you find this content helpful, please support my channel and buy me a coffee. Subscribe, like, duh.